Reseller Clickbait Podcast, episode 58.
What's going on? It's Ken, SSKPromo. He's on YouTube. Jimmy, Old School Flips, on YouTube as well. This is the Reseller Clickbait Podcast. And we're doing that intro because we got a bunch of new listeners and viewers that came
Yes.
over. At least 30-something just overnight.
Yes.
And it's been pretty wild. So we have to give a huge... I don't know if we really have to thank Kevin. I mean, we do.
Yes.
But it's not just because of Kevin shouting us out. It's his love for our show.
Oh, yeah.
He loves... I mean, he expressed it in the video that he made. How much he loves the podcast, loves us.
He wakes up in the morning.
Fan. It should be us being a fan of him. But no, it's reverse. He's a fan of ours.
It is. You know, he wakes up in the morning thinking about us. He goes to bed at night thinking about us.
He falls asleep to the podcast, and he wakes up to the podcast.
Well, which is what happens to most people. They kind of zone out, fall asleep in the middle of the podcast. But yes, definitely a big shout out to Kevin Commonwealth Picker.
Yeah.
On his Commonwealth Flipper channel.
The Flipper channel.
He gave us a shout out, and he's doing a giveaway.
Yeah, and again, he expressed how much I think he likes this podcast better than the Trash to Cash podcast.
Than
he can't say that to his co-hosts.
Of course not.
This is his favorite podcast. That was clear, right?
That's the way I took it.
So you all are listening to Kevin Commonwealth Picker's favorite podcast right now. Think about that. Send your friends over. Tell them, hey, this is Kevin Commonwealth Picker's favorite podcast that you're listening to right now.
He's going to pull his offer of the giveaway, Jimmy, if we sugarcoat this
By the way,
too much.
I'm going to put a link down below to our last video.
Yes.
That's the video that Kevin said if you comment in that video, he is giving away an Eneman to one of the comments. So you will have a chance to win an Eneman if you comment in that video. Ken, you're going to have to remind me to put that link because you know how bad I am about remembering.
I do know how bad you are. But it's predicated. How about that word? It's predicated on us reaching 400 subs.
Oh, yeah, we have.
So we're building. I think as we're recording this, we're at about 379.
379.
So we need to get folks over there. Watch episode 57 of the Reseller Clickbait Podcast. Spread the word. Get your family, get your friends, wake your grandma, have her sign up on her YouTube account.
That's 21 subs away. If I'm doing, I don't do math, but I think that's how much. So you guys need to spread the word too to get people to come over and sub so you can actually win.
Yes,
you can have a chance.
Wait a minute. Am I allowed to comment on our own video? Because I don't have an Eneman.
I don't either.
I'm going to comment and take a chance. Well, you had an Eneman, but
I auctioned it for charity. Basically,
yes, you did. You auctioned it, gave away toys at Christmas time.
I used the funds to because I love to give away toys. I do toys, and every year Sonia and I go buy toys. And am I lagging?
You are not.
All right. My computer says
You mean in general in life?
Mentally. I meant mentally, yes.
Oh, yes. Then yes.
Yes.
I will confirm that Jimmy. But man, we are recording this on Monday morning, right before the podcast comes out. Normally we do it over the weekend on usually Sunday evening, but it was just a busy, wild weekend for both of us. And
how did you manage to get an amazing tan and I didn't? What's going on here?
That's just me. That's just my makeup. Out there in the sun.
You have the whole beach tan going on, and I'm like pale still. And we were at the same sale. What the heck?
I don't know. I just tan. I don't usually burn. So
that has to go with what we did this weekend. It was a busy weekend. We were at yard sales together, and Ken got the Baywatch tan, and I didn't. So.
We were at a big citywide sale over the weekend. That it's a huge sale in Seville, Ohio, that we go to every year. Jill and I have been going for 25 plus years. That's now crazy. Jimmy is here in Ohio. We turned them on to the sale. Jimmy and Sonia, we all went up. It's actually one of those, the sale is so big in town, we get a motel room and we stay the night because you can't really do it all in one day.
You can't do it all in 2 days, probably not even 3 days.
True. It's a very large sale. We even said, as far as the picking is concerned, better than the Route 40 that we recently went to, that we both still have videos to put out. Well, I see that Frank and Janelle over at FJ Treasures, they've got their video out already
for the Route 40. Yeah, go check
that
out.
Route 40
I'll link that down below too.
Yeah. So we've got and it's a fun weekend. Not only was the picking great, we always play games that weekend. We play the bingo, the Savingo. We used to do a scavenger hunt, Jill and I. And then we went into this game. I call it Savingo for Seville Bingo.
Which, I mean, it's not written across the top because that wouldn't work. If you put Savingo, then you would have to have extra columns and all that stuff. So yeah.
That's right. So yeah,
you might have to happen next year because somebody came out of the gates firing.
Oh yeah, I was a bit worried. Jimmy's here in Ohio now, and he needs to build his inventory. He came to Ohio with 0 inventory, and he needed to build that up. And so it's been a frantic pace of picking over the last, say, what, you've been here about a month now?
Just over a month, yeah.
Just over a month.
Oh, wait, will tomorrow be a month? I think tomorrow's a week and a month. Yeah, a month and a week, not a week and a month. A month and a week.
It feels like 3 months, Jimmy, that you've been here.
So yeah, 1 month and 1 week tomorrow.
So we're at so wait, what was I saying? What were we talking about?
You were saying how
the frantic pace. I was worried that Jimmy was going to get there and go, oh, look at all these sales. Well, I'm not going to be able to play this game. We just got to pick.
I showed up with that in my head. Like,
yes,
bingo sounds fun, or Savingo sounds fun, but I can't do it. I told somebody, I'll admit right now to you, Ken, that I told somebody, I don't know that I'm going to even stand a chance in this bingo game. You know me. I'm going to be picking. We need inventory.
Yes.
You make sure you play and participate, but I'm going to be picking like crazy.
And I got to tell you, Jimmy and Sonia, I'm proud of that. They went full in. Well, the game is it's just fun. I'm going to throw up here just real quick.
Yeah.
This was the Savingo sheet. If you wanted to pause it and see some of the things that we have to do in the game. It's mostly all actions and activities. It's not necessarily finding things. It is
embarrassing yourself. It's
embarrassing yourself. And Jimmy and Sonia came right out of the gate, just full on.
It's
just into the game,
wild.
Feet first. Jimmy, Jimmy's like sniping me. I'll just give you an example. So one of the items on the thing was that you had to ask at a sale if they had a pair of shoes like in a different size.
Right.
So, like you were at the shoe store or something. And I'm standing there holding the pair of shoes. I'm holding the pair of shoes, waiting to ask the seller who was talking to like another customer. Jimmy leans right in over my shoulder. And he's like, hey, do you have these shoes? The ones I'm holding, do you have these shoes in like a size 14? And we're like, oh, no, those are the only ones that we
and because of the rules that this guy made, his rules, you can't get this guy over here. And you can't get the same bingo. He can't do the same bingo at the same sale.
Yes.
So that bingo slot was now taken for that sale.
So Jimmy sniped me in the very first sale, and then the rest of the day was just epic. It was fun. And here's the thing, Jimmy, and that I hope you saw is like we had a ton of fun going from sale to sale. Everybody's trying to mark up stuff on their list, and at the same time, we picked incredible stuff.
Yeah.
It was, we filled up the car. Well, we filled up the car just in the first little neighborhood so much that we had to go back to the hotel
Yep.
and unload the car.
Jimmy also
just
had
to be
poop,
able.
so that's another reason why we go.
Well, that was another reason. Yeah. And we're going to talk about Jimmy's his poo belly.
Yeah.
That was
no, you're
on
right.
Saturday,
I think
though.
Sonia is impressed with how well Jill can. We won't call it picking. Let's be honest. She's impressed at how good Jill is at shopping and finding decorations and stuff for her house or for the cabin.
Yeah.
Sonia is just like impressed with her taste and what she's able to find at these yard sales.
Yeah. Jill is also, she's like the silent assassin. She does do pretty good at picking for reselling, to where like when we get back and we're going through the bags and stuff, she's like, "Oh, I picked this up for you. I got this for you. I got this thing." And it's like, I never saw her buy it.
Yeah.
The whole time. It just, kind of got put in a bag. And so I got a number
I do have
of really
to say,
good items.
Did she pick the best item or was that you?
Jill overall got the best item of
we'll go into that
the
later.
weekend.
So while she is a great shopper, she's also a great picker too, because she did pick my favorite item of the weekend.
Yes. And so, let me see. What did we do? So the sales and the game was just fun. We picked tons of stuff. Jimmy, in his first year out of playing Savingo, actually won the first bingo.
He got the
first line of bingo, which the prize is he gets an ice cream.
Yeah. Here's a picture of a morbidly obese man eating ice cream.
Right there, Jimmy with his Heath.
For you chubby chasers out there.
There's a picture of Jimmy with his winnings right there. So if you're listening on the audio side on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, wherever, come over to the YouTube channel, see Jimmy and his winning Heath flurry.
That flurry was mostly Heath bar. There was at least 3 Heath bars in that, which is a good thing.
Yes.
I mean, every bite was like eating half a candy bar.
So Jimmy won that the first bingo, but overall in the game, Jill was.
This is a controversial topic here.
Jill won the whole thing. She won the
blackout.
The blackout. You have to get everything on your sheet, which I have all mine highlighted here on my sheet that I have, but it took me 2 days. I finished last. It was a battle right at the end between Sonia and I to see who was going to be, who was going to get third place and who was going to, because Jimmy finished second. Jimmy finished second.
I got a lot of opinions and comments on this, and I don't want to downplay anything because I had a blast and it was so much fun. And the competitive side of me, which me and Jill are both very competitive. We found out,
definitely,
or Jill and I. It's not that I didn't like. It was hard for me to accept the last thing was something that I had no control over.
Yes.
And me and Jill and I were both working on the last item, and it's not something that I could walk up and embarrass myself or had any control over. It was literally just the luck of the sale, right?
Yes. Because most everything is that task to embarrass yourself or embarrass somebody in our group. And the last item that everybody was an item, because most things are not items that you have to find.
Yep.
And Jimmy being here from Colorado, the item was an item that was Colorado related, that had something to do that said Colorado, that was from Colorado.
Yeah. So it got to the point where Jill and I were both just asking, hey, you got anything from Colorado? Like, that's fair. We were both doing it. So Jill gets to a sale and asks, and they thought they did, but they didn't have anything, right?
Yes.
I got to tell this part of the story, right? Do I get to tell this part?
Go.
Because
what
happened?
I will.
Like, it's not even possible what happened, but it did. Literally what happened is impossible. The impossible happened. So we're leaving the sale. Me, Sonia, Ken, we're all in the Jeep getting ready to go. Jill is loading something that she bought into the back of the truck.
Yes.
And Ken is about to put in drive because Ken puts the car in drive before everybody's in the car all the time. It's in drive, pulling away as the last person is getting into the car. So We're getting ready to pull away, and you see the guy from the sale
Yes.
walking down the street briskly. He's briskly walking towards us, and he's like, "Don't get in the car! Don't get in the car!" And he walking up with a guide to Red Rocks, which is in Colorado, like a tour,
right here. This
tour
one
book to Red Rocks, and he gives it to Jill.
Yes.
And Jill wins on that. So what's crazy, what makes this impossible is this. We're leaving that sale. It's over. It's done. There's nothing Colorado there.
Yes.
Then he walks up, gives her that. She gets the win right there. Jimmy's pouting because he has no control over what happened. I can't even make this up. I could, though, but I'm not making this up. We are going to the very next sale.
The next one.
And Ken had to flip around to pull into the front of their house.
Yes.
Ken flips around and parks in front of their house. There's not like a little Denver Bronco figure or a little Colorado hat. There is a ginormous Denver Bronco wall hanging plaque.
It's like the size of a headboard.
Yeah,
like a bed headboard.
3 feet by 2.5 feet. Like it's this huge custom-made Denver Bronco logo sitting at the very next sale. You better believe. Let's bring out that bleeper now. I was like, this is some bull.
Beep.
Yeah, so I'm editing that because I was like, no way. There's no chance that just it was like set up. It had to be set up.
It was because we're talking like we were a few hours into doing the sales, and we had went to I don't know 100 sales already, and nothing Colorado. Nope. And then the guy walks this book down to Jill, and
he saves Jill, like he literally chased her down to give her the win. Yes. And then the very next sale, and from the car, I'm like, Broncos. And then I was like, no way, this is not even possible. And
I think Jimmy just sat in the car at that sale.
I pouted big time.
He pouted and sulked, and but he did get the
second. That's not even possible, right? Like that's impossible. The impossible happened, right?
After looking all day, and then
it was like this giant. We should have took a picture. That's the mistake. I might have it on video.
Oh.
There's probably a video of it. So if you go check out my videos, I'm sure it'll be in the video because I'll do a bingo video. Yeah, it's just not even possible that happened. This thing was huge. Yeah. So, anyways, that was a wild ending for Jill and I to our bingo cards. Yeah.
And then just like for the bingo, then Sonia was able to finish up second or third. Yeah. She found the elusive Colorado item in a blanket that had Major League Baseball teams, and so Colorado Rockies.
I think you guys both had help with the Colorado, though.
Yeah, because the second day, then Saturday, Jimmy finally, that was the only thing I had on my list, and Jimmy pointed out he saw some sports memorabilia, something, Super Bowl that the Broncos were in or something.
I will say, like I think they have to be in there, but those were definitely because Ken, his last two, and most of us, our last two were find an instrument and pretend like you know how to play it.
Yes.
And find the Colorado item. So you're relying on a specific item to finish that bingo slot, made that difficult. All of us were kind of struggling with those too. I had to pretend like I was playing a jug. I was Emmett. What is it? Emmett Otter's.
Emmett Otter's jug.
And I was all.
It was like Darlin Briscoe from the Andy Griffith show when the Briscoe Darlin when the Darlins came down out of the mountains.
So thankfully, the rule committee was there, so they got to say that counted.
Which on the rule committee.
So that was a wild ending.
Lots of fun. And speaking of another setup that I got Jimmy and Sonia with.
Oh my gosh.
Going to the sales. I want to give going to the sales over the years. Jill and I, we had met this couple that lives in one of the neighborhoods, and they were always excited about the games that we were playing. And each year we would stop by. Oh, what are you playing this year? What are you doing? And so the night before, when Jill and I got into town the night before, Jimmy and Sonia, I took over a
This is just
headshot,
and it was autographed and everything.
It was, well, here, look. And what I did is I took it into their sale and I placed it on one of the tables with a bunch of jewelry that she had. And and by the way, those were not the family jewels, which were
those are not
one of the
family jewels.
One of the Savingo.
I want to say, like, they set this up perfectly. They even made sure that they were behind me and Sonia when we walked into that sale, just to kind of let us see it first.
So
Jimmy went into the Matrix. Like, I was like this, like there was a glitch in the Matrix type moment. I didn't even know what was happening. Literally, my brain, like, who?
I walk in and Jimmy's just like, what? This is a setup. Like he was being punked, like he was on Catfish, or something like that. He's like being punked. And he's like, this has to be a setup. And of course, our friend Jenny, she played along. She's like, oh, do you know that guy? Because he's like famous on YouTube. And
he's the Commonwealth Picker's favorite podcast.
and so we set them up, and in that sale, just walking around randomly, we had already hit a number of sales that morning, and we get there and there is the headshot.
Right, perfect. I'm not even just Sonia for the next 20 minutes was like, I just couldn't even believe the dumbfounded look on your face, Jimmy. And I can tell you mentally, it was like a glitch. That's the only thing. It was like a glitch in my head. Like, I didn't even know how to respond, what to think, what to say. I was like, how, what, who, where, why? And I didn't know. And so I was like, and then finally the gig was up and I figured out, my brain finally figured out, no, this is a setup. Like, this had to be a setup.
So shout out to Jenny and Mark for playing along every year with our goofiness. In the past years, we've done some Instagram stuff with them and stuff. Yeah. And shout out to their daughter, Megan, who is graduating from Kent State University this year. So congratulations to her. And so Jenny, thank you for playing along. If you're watching this episode, she does watch the podcast and some of our videos. And so she would have recognized Jimmy just coming in anyway.
Right. Yeah.
And then, to add that element.
Favorite podcast too.
That's right. Hey, we met some people at the sales that were fans of Kevin Commonwealth. I do want to make note though, that, Kevin shouted us out on his Flipper video.
Yep.
About, hey, check out these guys. Well, of course he did preface it with, Jimmy and Ken are amazing. The podcast is terrible, but these guys are great. So that's kind of like one of those backhanded compliments, I think.
Yeah.
But haven't heard a thing out of, Dave and Carrie. No
love.
He
just like we have to say we hate Trash to Cash podcast because it is a 90s rap battle that we're having currently. We cannot say that we like them. But it is a great. That's all I can say about rapping, because we do not want, again, we've discussed this, we do not want Ken to start rapping.
Go check. Yes.
But yeah, so Sonia was the one that got that started. Those people bringing up Kevin Commonwealth.
Yes.
So Sonia was carrying, because I got to support Kevin. He supports us and my channel. So I support him as much as I possibly can. And I bought a Kevin Commonwealth canvas bag
like the tote bag.
Yeah. The size of an IKEA bag. It's nicer. It's canvas. It's a really nice bag. That's why we take that one, because it's nice and it works perfect.
Did you pick that up over at commonwealthpicker.com?
I sure did. I
think you can get stickers there. You could get yourself a fanny pack. Oh, we'll talk about fanny packs later.
Oh, we're going to talk about fanny pack. Yeah, so Sonia had that, and she knows what's up. Sonia knows the gig. She makes sure to wear it to where that logo is just like, bing, everybody can see it. So she's carrying it the appropriate way, and we get from across the yard sale, right? You were closer. Tell the story.
Well, we're walking, and all of a sudden I hear this lady shout out, "Hey, we know Commonwealth Picker."
Yeah.
And so everybody like stops and turns around, and we figure out what are they talking about. We got our GoPros on, and I'm sure that someone's going to mistake us for, for Kevin when we're out there at the sales. And then we realize that Sonia has the big bag, and she's like, "Yeah, we know Commonwealth." They're like, "Oh, really?" So we turn around and struck up a conversation with them, and they watch some other retail YouTubers and stuff. And so, we're dropping names, oh yeah, Jimmy's showing pictures of all of us with Trash to Cash at the Vegas Bash. And of course we threw our channel names out there. Jimmy's always representing with the coolest hat in the business there, the old school Flips hat. And I gave him out a couple stickers and stuff. So I didn't get their names, but I do want to shout out those ladies. They were going to start to follow the podcast here. They are already follow the Trash to Cash and stuff. Yeah. So the Reseller Clickbait podcast. So this morning, if you're at your desk on a Monday morning or Tuesday, whenever you're listening to this, to those ladies that are checking out the podcast, thanks for hit that thumbs up and subscribe.
Yeah, and if you're listening on the audio side, because she asked about app, if we're on Apple, come over real quick to YouTube, just real quick, leave a comment, let us know, so we remember, so we maybe know your username or whatever, and we can say thank you in the comments and stuff.
Yes.
And don't forget to subscribe while you're over here.
Yeah. So Kevin got noticed at the sales that we were at. He wasn't even there.
And she said, just like most of the comments we've been getting, she did say, now you gentlemen do realize you do have faces for radio, though. That's why I want the audio side. That's why I want Apple, because I don't want to stare at you guys for too long.
The whole time.
If you could just give me the audio setup, that'd be great. Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. We did have some other people ask about the GoPros and stuff, and was able to give out some stickers and maybe get a few new. I did get a couple new followers over the weekend that I didn't know who they were. So that might be the other ladies at the, what was it, like an ice cream truck or something?
It was like a lemonade stand.
At the lemon. Shout out to the ladies at the lemonade stand.
That was like from across. We weren't walking right by them. We're buying lemonade from them.
Yeah.
We were a good 25 feet from that stand when they yelled, "Are those GoPros?
Hey, what's up with those GoPros?" And so that was pretty cool to, have people asking. And the bingo game too was a good way to, because everybody saw us, carrying our sheets around, and you get other people involved, and they're excited, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we put this on YouTube. We have channels." And so it was just a fun way. It was.
I gotta talk about some things, because we're getting into we're starting to creep into second day stuff right now.
Okay.
And we can't go fully into second day stuff without telling
of the epic find.
A first day. We're gonna call it. This happened in the first day, and you need to know that this happened in the first day, because, again, the impossible happened. Another impossible happened.
If you're talking about the impossible, Jimmy, that was the second day.
No. There's more impossible stuff, but
there was extra impossibilities.
Well, so we're calling it the Spill 2023. So this is the Spill 2023, and because I don't want to go fully into second day stuff without talking about this happening on the first day, because we'll get into the second day stuff further, but first we got to talk about. So this to me is hilarious, and I'm sorry, Ken. It was hilarious. So Ken is not the biggest. He of course he loves lemonade stands. He loves to give the kids money. That part is not an issue to him, but he does have like a little pet peeve, a little issue with never filling the cup up all the way. Right?
Okay. Yeah. Kids don't seem to understand at the lemonade stand the concept of a full glass. And look, I even have the picture. This is the glass of lemonade that Jill bought. It's like maybe half full.
Half full.
A guy's going to spend, 50 cents at a sale. He wants a full glass of lemonade, which I'm not going to drink anyway. So go ahead.
So we're walking so of course he had to share that with the whole group. I just, I don't mind. I love spending the money, but fill the cup up, kid. Come on. Like, he's expressing his total, just like, I don't need angst towards that whole, like that happening all the time. Right. And he's letting us know, and he's kind of like, we joke around. Of course we joke around. We're joking about it. And like, yeah, these kids, what are you doing? Like, and so
fill the cup.
It's all in good fun, but, but of course he had to make it epic by when he gets into the car, he's getting into the car, and his half full cup of lemonade, he just spills it all over. So now he doesn't have a half a cup, he has a quarter of a cup lemonade. So that's, to me, that's hilarious. I'm like, you're already complaining that you only have half a cup. Now you only have a quarter of a cup. But I didn't even get a chance to laugh or make fun of him because how did you react, Ken?
You got the beep button. Okay. Can I do a little bit more setup on it?
Yeah, go for it.
So one of the items on the bingo list was that you had to ask a kid at a lemonade stand if they took Bitcoin.
Yep.
Or some other cryptocurrency, which just confused the children. Jill buys this lemonade after she gets her point for the crypto currency thing. And I'll buy lemonade at the sales, but I'm not always going to drink the lemonade just because I always picture it like, in Vegas Vacation or whatever, Vacation, the original, when the girls stir in the lemonade with the Kool-Aid. And so I don't always want to drink it. I get in a car, boom, whatever. I don't know what happened. I bounced in when I sat in the car, and this right in Jill's Brandon, she had just had her car detailed that week for the weekend, to clean it up because we were going to be hauling stuff. We're going to have Jimmy and Sonia in there, and she had just got her car, and now there's lemonade all over me. It's on my GoPro. It's in the console. It's on the armrest, and
he's trying to
all over my pants.
His reaction is what he's trying to do right now.
And I let out a line of expletives. You sucking mother friggity mac. And Jimmy and Sonia are just like stunned at first, and then here comes the laughter. And it's like Jimmy keeps apologizing. I'm sorry I laughed at you, but it was just freaking hilarious. And so I have it like everywhere. I don't want to, and I'm like, I don't want to be sticky. I don't want to be sticky the whole rest of the day.
And again, he didn't have a look into my brain of how hilarious it was to me that he was already complaining that he only had half a cup. Now he's got a quarter of a cup.
Now it's like
in my brain, that's hilarious. Like that is comedy at its best.
And so I throw the rest of it out in the street, and I'm just
oh, and I gotta tell you, Sonia almost died because of this, because he's so mad. This is kind of goes to what I was telling you. He's so mad, he puts it in reverse and he's getting ready to go. Sonia's still got the hatch of the Jeep open, putting stuff in the back. And I'm like, Ken, Sonia's back there. She's still putting stuff in. He's like, and then finally, when I said that, he realized I gotta calm down. He puts it in park. He's like,
I was my normal, cherub-like demeanor that I have. I just went off with every hard K ending word that you can have. I was spewing it.
Oh man. So have to tell that because there's more to tell about that in day 2. Now,
yes.
Going into day 2, because you went to some stuff in day 2, but how day 2 started is another. Yes. So we haven't finished the second Impossible. We'll finish the second Impossible here in a little bit, but this isn't impossible. This is just like how crazy picking can be. The way day 2 started.
Yeah.
Day 2 just represents like you never know what wild events can happen to lead to some picking, right?
Yes.
So day 2 starts, and I'm gonna tell a little bit about it, and you can make fun of me. Feel free to drop in jokes about it the whole time. So the plan is to park at the end of Main Street and walk up and down because there's sales all up and down Main Street, right?
Yes.
So we park at one end, we get out, and we hit about 4 sales heading down Main Street.
Yes.
And what happens to Jimmy?
Well, Jimmy gets grumbly, a grumpy tummy.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, so really, okay, can I back up just a little bit on your story?
Yeah, I want you
because this is where the kind of the impossibility comes in of all the events that have to happen to find a great pick.
Yep.
It all starts in the morning with Jimmy deciding, oh yeah, let's eat the free continental breakfast let's have some some gray sausage and some eggs, and a big old waffle at the hotel, before we're going to go out and walk for hours in the hot sun.
And to be clear, I don't eat breakfast before yard sailing because I've had some medical stuff that causes these issues. Anyways, that's too much TMI, but it's true. So I usually don't eat breakfast.
So, but who can pass up, a gray sausage patty?
I was like Donkey and Shrek, and in the morning I'm making waffles.
Yeah. So that whole event of Jimmy eating breakfast led to the greatest find of the weekend.
Yeah.
So following along with Jimmy's story, we park at the end of Main Street. We start to walk up one side, and to be dainty or whatever. Jimmy has to poop.
Yeah, I have to poop, and I turned it to Ken when he spilled the lemonade when I found out that the city doesn't sponsor the sale anymore, and there's no porta potty set up, nowhere to go to the bathroom. Right?
Yes.
Like Ken is very. I want to thank Ken. He's very understanding of that situation. He knows how that feels. It drives me crazy that people have no sympathy for how that feels and won't help you out. But Ken is he's like, let's go here, let's go check the church, let's go. They used to have it, and so we're walking up and back and forth on Main Street looking for porta potties. Yes. There's none. The church won't help a guy out and let me use it. They're parking cars, and they were busy. Yeah. They were busy, so they didn't help me out.
Sure.
So I'm literally like turning green. And we're trying to find a bathroom. And so finally we're like, we got to walk back to the car and we'll drive and find something. So meanwhile, Sonia and Jill are following us from a distance to see what's going to happen with this whole situation. And so Ken and I walk past them and like, we're going back to the car. We might have to go back down further towards the downtown area to find a bathroom.
And lose our epic parking spot that we got.
Lose our parking spot, missing out on an hour of picking.
Yes.
And, half an hour of picking, but, by the time I find a bathroom or whatever. And so everybody decides, let's just all go back to the car. They're all following, Jill and Sonia are following us back. And at the end of the park, where we parked at the end of the street, there's a big park.
Yeah.
And Ken said they've had bathrooms there before. There's a good chance they will. So... But it's a good walk down the street. It's a good quarter of a mile.
Yeah, it's maybe a couple city blocks to the park, then
when I got to the park, I saw the bathroom 2 baseball fields away.
Yes.
So I had to walk through so I walked back down the main street, down the block. How many blocks would you say?
3
blocks.
At least.
3 blocks into the park, and then I walked 2 baseball fields over to the restroom, but it's there. There's a restroom.
However, I am sympathetic to the situation, but the epic parking spot that we had wasn't overweighing Jimmy's intestinal issues.
Jill and Ken at that point, Sonia's with me, walking with me, trying to help me find something. Jill and Ken had stopped at the car.
Yes.
I went the 3 blocks down, and Sonia did too, down the 3 blocks to the park. Sonia stopped at the entrance of the park, and I walked the 2 baseball fields to the restroom.
Yes.
Do my thing, come back out. Sonia and I are heading back up. Sonia's texting Jill, hey, there's a couple sales to the left. We're going to go hit those sales before we come back to Main Street.
Yes.
So Sonia and I beat you guys to that sale. It ended up only being 1 sale, we thought, right?
Yeah, because we had to walk back from the car down another block or 2 to parallel to the main street, the street behind, because there's so many sales. Every street, every side street, there's just sales everywhere.
So what we're saying is, now the breakfast, the toilet break, the walking to the park, the 2 baseball field walk to the park, Sonia and I are walking back, and we go to the sale to the left. And so now we go through the sale. It's nothing. There's kids' toys and kids' clothes. Nothing good at all.
Yeah.
So we start walking back, and as we're walking back, we see Ken and Jill.
Yeah.
aka Jen, aka Kill, walking back towards us, and we go like, "There's nothing here. You guys don't waste your trip down here." So another event that happened that we're like, "Just wait for us. We'll walk to you because that's where Main Street is."
Yeah.
And as we're walking to them, a lady comes out from way back in the back of her garage with all these cars parked in front of her garage.
Yes.
We're having a sale back here too. And that's when I saw her sign that says more stuff, and it was pointing back to her. You know, it was a long driveway with cars all parked in it. So you couldn't really
you could not tell from the street there was a sale there.
Right. So then we're like, oh, they're having a sale to Ken and Jill. And so they come down. So another thing, so like that was another step to lead to, we go into the sale, and I go left. Sonia and I go left. Ken and Jill go right.
Yeah,
and I'll let you take it from there.
Oh, so where everybody, like, as you pass, into the garage, everybody does that quick scan first. You get in there, you start to look at the tables. Like say Jimmy's left, and I think you did buy a couple of good items there.
Yeah, I bought some bobbleheads.
Yeah, bobbleheads off the front table.
Some shoes.
But as you passed in, like on the behind you, as you got into the door, there was an item or 3 items actually.
Yeah.
Jill goes into the sale. I'm past those items. She turns around and she's like, "What are those?"
Yeah.
It's like, "Are they for sale?" And I got the picture right here, and I will show you. Jill ended up scoring 3 blow molds. Larry, Curly, and Moe, the 3 Stooges blow molds.
Those, man, that's my favorite. So that's my favorite pick of the weekend. I mean, those things are amazing.
And the couple of condition issues. The paint is done. A couple maybe little cracks here, but we ended up getting all of those for $20. They were asking 25 for the 25 for the set.
Yeah.
And we got them for $20. Jill, it was like the best because she's most likely going to
maybe refurbish them and keep them.
Refurbish them and keep them. Her childhood growing up was, watching the 3 Stooges with her dad, and so, but just an amazing find for $20. And looking online, those are.
I was just gonna say, what's the resale value of those? Just for our resale listeners, they want to know what's the resale value of them.
The last set sold for $500.
Wow.
There's a couple that are still listed in the $750 range and the $800 plus range, and there's only a couple listed.
Yeah, it's a rare blow mold. I've never even seen them.
And so that was an epic find for Jill that all of us
had Jimmy not had breakfast. If Jimmy had not had breakfast, if Jimmy didn't have to poop, if Jimmy didn't walk 20 miles to a bathroom, all that craziness that led up to that find, like we would have just still been going down Main Street.
All of Main Street. We probably wouldn't have hit that sale until coming back to the car and then doing the parallel, the
hours later. Yeah.
And so I would say the quote unquote non-reseller or whatever found the best item of the weekend. And just very cool. Super excited for her.
When I turned around, when she said, "What are those?" and I turned around, I was like, "Oh my, those are awesome!" Like those are, and of course, the picker in me is like, "I want them," but I knew like those are. Of course, she's gonna buy those. Those are amazing.
She already had her hand on her on her wallet. Well, they looked when you first saw them sitting in the corner. They looked like they were like maybe concrete or something like that.
Yeah, because of the
statue almost. And then when you went up and touch them, it's like, these things are blow molds.
Yeah, those are super sweet, man. Super great find.
So, congrats to Jill on her epic pick and the pick of the weekend. But I mean, overall, the picking, I mean, we filled the card.
I found like some blow molds too.
Oh, that's right. You got a full set of.
I paid $60 for a full nativity, but it's the smaller one, but it's actually got some really good value. Yeah.
Well, the key to that one is the wise men. You got the 3 wise men and the shepherd, which is what most people don't have. They always have the Mary and Joseph and the baby Jesus and the shepherd, but to find the
only thing that set is missing, it's complete except for the shepherd's hook. Is
Yes.
the only thing that set is missing.
Yes.
So yeah, that was and so maybe $400 as a set.
And yeah, good
to
good
500.
shape. Everything was in
Yeah,
real
I
good
paid
shape.
60
So
for it. So yeah, the picking was amazing.
So let's talk about that of choices. On Friday when we made a choice, we went through this one neighborhood.
Yeah.
And we stopped and said, okay, do we go straight or do we go right?
Yeah,
And we decided to go right and do something. Had we went straight that day or on that trip, that lady also had like the full set or like
she
three or
had
four of the
she had a bunch of
reindeer.
reindeer. She said she had Goofy and Mickey. And
Yes.
she sold
Winnie the
those on the
Pooh.
first day.
Yes.
So
So
somehow she
there's
still
again.
had the nativity scene left over. But she's like, yeah, she said I sold all the other ones yesterday.
So we made a choice that one day that kind of maybe took profit out of our pockets.
But yeah, we still did good. Yeah. I mean, it was a good day all the way around. Yeah, I mean, I did good back in that neighborhood, so I ain't complaining.
Yeah, the very first, we hit this one sale that was just epic. I go in there and Jimmy's just frantically making. We were still playing the game. We were in the middle, but all of a sudden at this one sale, it went from all games are off.
Yeah, no more bingo.
It was Jimmy starts making a pile, and he's almost got this look around like, where is somebody else? Somebody needs to be picking this table behind me.
I said that. I was like, someone needs to get it. While I'm picking, I'm like, somebody, this table back here. And Ken made it up.
Yes.
I don't know if he probably didn't hear me, but he was there, thankfully, because there was good stuff all over that table too.
And I picked up Jemmy animated Christmas stuff, Department 56 animated stuff.
And it was all priced really good.
Oh, it was all like $2, $1, everything. And you picked up inflatables and figures and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
that
I
was
picked up a Minions Christmas inflatable. I picked up an Xbox 360 in the box. I picked up like a Groove figure that dances. I mean, I picked up a brand new in the package Ohio State Fathead sticker.
Ooh,
just all kinds of great. I mean,
that one sale we could have been done. The profit was that we pulled out of there at such a low cost, and you didn't even have to make a deal on anything. Their prices were just so low. It was like, boom, let's load this stuff up.
And the only thing I made a deal on, because I was like, if I buy everything, will you give me a deal on the Xbox? They had 40 on the Xbox. They gave it to me for 30. So that's the only thing I spent up on, but it's in the box. It's like brand new in the box. It's completely it's like it was taken out of there once, and it's got the Connect and everything. So
it was one of those sales that you just want to find, that you don't find that often. And here it was, just sitting there and well, you know what? Here's another part of the events. We wouldn't have been at that sale at that time if Jimmy didn't have to pee.
Yeah, my bladder,
Jimmy's bathroom habits.
My bathroom habits are lead to good picking. So if you ever go picking with me, and I say I gotta go to the bathroom, you better listen, folks.
Yeah. You better go, because
when we go picking together, if I say I gotta go,
yes, let him go and just follow along, because that particular neighborhood, there's all new construction in the back with new houses, but a lot of the houses are now established and have been there for, say, 4 or 5 years. And those folks are now starting to have sales, where we were in the front part of the neighborhood, which we would have done first. And then went to the new part, because
you're right.
Historically, there wasn't sale, but Jimmy had to pee. And knowing that there was construction back there, and in construction, they always have their porta-johns out. So we drove back to the new part, went, used one of the construction porta-johns, and then it's like, well, we might as well hit all of these sales. And there again. So man,
that sale was so good.
Next time we go out together, Jimmy, I'm bringing you a sausage muffin with egg when I show up to pick you up for
and
picking,
a large lemonade. Speaking of large lemonade, we're going to talk about. I wanted to use. That's a perfect segue into finish the other Impossible event. So if you were here listening earlier, we had a second Impossible event. So we talked about Ken's The Spill. He spilled lemonade on himself the first day. So the second day, after we stopped and got the ice cream.
And
Ken ordered like a strawberry slushy mixed with ice cream.
Yeah, lemonade, strawberry slush with Dole Whip, mango Dole Whip. Oh yeah, it was great.
So it looked amazing, by the way. I almost wish I would have got that. So later on, we're all done. Ken's down to the very last bit of his slushy in the car, and he's trying to get the strawberry that was at the bottom of the cup out of the bottom of the cup, right?
Yes.
And he's got, this will lead to our next story. He's got his fanny pack on, and he's got his phone in his lap, and he's trying to dig out this straw. What are the chances, folks? That straw goes right through the bottom of that cup, and lemonade spill. I mean, there was still lemonade and strawberry at the bottom of this cup, right? And the lemonade and the strawberry just shoot through the bottom of that cup into his lap. And this time he was like me. He was like, this didn't even happen. This isn't even possible.
Yeah, this is okay. Really? Okay. The second spill on Jill's brand new clean car. She had just got detailed. Now I've got strawberry. I've got lemonade. Now this one hit the seat, and so now it's rolling back
into the crack.
My crotch is all, and there's strawberry down to where like a couple of sales like later. So Jill had got out of the car to go up and check out this one sale. She wanted to buy a shepherd's hook from the sale, and so when we get out at the next sale, she's like, hold on for a second. I've got like actually bits of strawberry on my calf, on the back of my leg, to which just a little side joke. I was telling her, we did a lot of walking over the weekend. And so yesterday on Sunday, I was like, man, my calves are really sore today from all the walking. She's like, hey, you know what will help with that? If you rub a bunch of strawberries on the back of your calves, because after I had spilled all this and I get out, I had strawberry all over the back of my legs. And I'm like, really? Really? I just totally destroyed Jill's car in 2 days.
It got on his phone.
Lemonade.
It got on his fanny pack. And I was just like, this isn't, that's all I couldn't, I was like the Matrix again. I was like, this isn't even possible that this just happened again. Like after the F-bomb dropping that we had yesterday, there's no way this happened again.
It was just disbelief.
Impossible.
I can't. And both times Jill was not in the car.
Yeah, she missed both spills. She didn't even get to witness
she missed them both. And she comes back to the car and we're all going nuts. And we're like, oh, that's right. Jimmy's like, don't say anything. Just like, don't lead on that something's wrong, that I had just destroyed Jill's car again. Jill gets in the car. She's like, what's up?
Yeah, I was all act normal, folks. And
and Jimmy's like, normal. Nothing. We're just acting normal. There's nothing going on here. Ken didn't just totally spill his lemonade all in his lap again.
And when I think about it, he had to get that drink from the ice cream, the Scoop ice cream stand, because the kids of Seville, because of the day before, they had that picture posted all over every lemonade stand. No, the one of your headshot. Every lemonade stand in Seville had like, do not serve this man, do not sell him lemonade. Every kid in Seville knew not to serve him lemonade after the first day.
I think Jill put the word out.
So real quick, because we have to talk about Ken making fun of me, picking on me.
I got to show this though. We were in our little group chat. Jill had put something about me spilling the lemonade and stuff. And I gave one of the Bitmojis, where it's like, no. And then we get this one back. Jimmy's did a little alteration here of
Ken spilling lemonade.
Spilling.
When I made that, I was laughing out loud when I edited that up.
Here I was with
shoot.
Those are visuals, folks. But anyway, I had it on my fanny pack,
and that leads me to the story where Ken making fun of me.
Yes,
I was like, well, I've never worn a fanny pack because I've never found one that fit me. Like I would have to fashion two fanny packs together, using each side to click them together to make one big fanny pack, and I would have 2 fanny packs. And so like then I was like, would I wear them front and back or side to side? And then Ken says,
I said, oh yeah, you'd be more like saddlebags than fanny packs. So we're at this. So then we're at a sale a little bit later, and Jimmy's like, "Hey," and I turn around and here's Jimmy. He's standing there with 2
motorcycle saddlebags.
He's
and as you can see, they don't even fit me. If you look, Sonia's standing behind me, holding it together because I'm still so fat that they didn't even fit me.
Didn't fit.
So yeah, I had to have my saddlebags.
So again, if you're listening on the audio side,
when he said Jimmy's got saddlebags, if I died laughing. Yeah, that was hilarious.
If you're listening on the audio side, come over, watch this episode. You'll see some of these photos of the blow molds of Jimmy's saddlebags.
Yep.
And just but it was just overall an epic, great weekend. I had been telling, I talked about the sales last year on the podcast. And, how much fun Jill and I have. And, we got Jimmy and Sonia, up there this year. And
thank you for inviting us. Thank you for making up the game. We had so much fun. And like, not just the fun we had that day. Like,
yes,
I'm looking forward to next year. And the year after that, and the year after that, when we're telling the stories about the first year of Savingo and Seville.
Yeah.
And, just all the funny stuff that's going to happen at those sales. And we're going to be telling those stories for years.
4 years. Yeah. That's because just out with you guys, Jill and I were telling stories about different, places, different things that maybe we had found, different, goofing with the folks at the sales.
And because of this podcast, years from now, I'll probably come back and watch this.
Yeah.
To remember some of the stories and to just laugh about this first trip to
it's a good time. And I think that, hopefully you found, because like say you were hesitant in the beginning. It's like, I just got to pick. We got to find these things. We were able to have a ton of fun. Just laugh and carry on and joke and still find just great items. Epic
the picking was great.
Because there's so many. The only downfall I think in the whole game is when Sonia almost had the authorities called on her, picking, as she's getting one of the items on the list was have to ask a seller if their pet. You see a lot of dogs that if their pet is for sale, we're getting out at this sale, and everybody sees these dogs.
Well, right. Jill and Sonia were both going for the same bingo slot.
Same thing they saw. And so Jill gets out of the car.
They both run.
She's trying to make her way. Sonia's running to the sale. Sonia just runs up to the dogs and just screams at the people. Are your dogs for sale? She just which the dogs were just like all of a sudden, oh no. So they just start barking. They're having to hold back the dogs.
Those dogs almost bit her. They were coming after her.
They were. She just in the excitement of the game, and she just screams at the people having the sale. Are these dogs for sale? And it just really upset everything.
My fault.
Everybody at
was Jill's coming looking. Too. Jill's coming too. And so somebody's like, oh, Jill's coming.
And they're trying to hold each other off as they're running up to the sale. But those are the fun things that happen. That it's like, oh, we got to calm Sonia down at the next sale. But congrats to Jill on her win, and Jimmy his first bingo. Jimmy was very strategic in how he did his list. He was putting going down one road.
By the third sale, I had bingo because I was doing them in order, and I was getting 2 per sale. Yeah.
Yes.
But it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, great fun. So if there was the Savingo sheet again, you can see some of the shenanigans. We won't go through all of them. And
but that was, we could talk about this all day, but we're an hour in.
Could. Yeah.
And since it's Monday morning and we still got to post this.
Oh yeah, that's right. We got to get done. And don't forget, if you have are this far in, today is Monday, the June 19th is a national holiday, so don't take your packages to the post office today. It is closed. And I do want to give a shout out over to Caleb Old Paths over at the Two Old Guys Reselling.
Yeah.
It was his birthday the other day. He turned 40. Now he was 40, and Chris said, "Oh, now I'm only 6 or 7 years older than him." And I'm
How are they
thinking,
the old guys if he's only 40?
I don't know if Caleb's 40, so that makes Chris what, 46, 47. It's
My
like,
age.
well, they're like, yeah, way younger than I am. How are they
Yeah,
the old
so what
guys?
does that make us? The elderly guys? What are
Yes, we are. Yes, we
one
should
out
be
of
the
two ain't bad
elderly
anyways.
guys picking, but go check out those guys. Their new episode was great, and happy birthday to Caleb, turning 40, and their channel is growing for them as well, as we're hoping that ours do. Thank you once again to Kevin, Commonwealth Picker. Go
Yep.
check out episode 57 of the Reseller Clickbait podcast, the one about video game guy. And leave a comment there. If we get up to 400 subs,
Yep.
Kevin is giving away an Eneman. So, Jimmy, it's great fun. Like you said, we could talk about this and the sales and the events and the things that happen. Hopefully you folks enjoyed, some of that, shenanigans that went on.
Because we did. We enjoyed the heck out of it.
We did, for sure. So we'll catch you next time on the Reseller Clickbait podcast.